Now it's time for some front squats. Before we start, I want to show you how I qualify if a lifter is able to front squat or not. Diana obviously demonstrated that she's able to achieve the squat position unloaded, but loading a barbell on the front of the body is a little bit different for the upper body than loading it on the back. And one of the biggest differences, especially when I see someone with postural deviations, such as a forward head posture, might be forcing the barbell in a totally incorrect position for the upper body to be able to handle, and can create injury if that lifter is not suited for a front squat. What I'm looking for is for the lifter to be able to place the barbell behind the shelf created by the anterior deltoids. Come under the bar, Dinny. Placing it right up against her neck, which is very uncomfortable. Lifting her elbows high, the barbell must sit behind the belly of the front deltoid. Now, if your lifter has forward head posture and it's resting, come back a little bit, on the belly of the deltoid, don't do that. That's incorrect. It must sit behind the shelf created by the anterior deltoid. When people have the postural deviation of upper cross syndrome, which involves a forward head posture, the cervical spine, or the neck, can push the barbell too far forward so it's unable to rest behind the shelf of the anterior deltoid. And instead, you might hear some complaints of people that are bruising their shoulders because it's sitting right in the middle of the belly of their deltoid. If that is the case with any of your clients or your lifters, you don't need to do a front squat. What's going to happen is that barbell is going to be pushed too far in front of the center of gravity that lifter will never be able to squat anything significant enough for the front squat to be deemed an effective exercise. And it can also increase the risk of injury. One of the most common complaints of pain for a front squat, in particular with these people that are shifting the barbell too far forward, is pain in the upper back. So you want to avoid that completely. If you see that a lifter presents to you with a forward head posture, or that neck position is pushing that barbell so it can't sit behind the belly of that muscle and it's sitting right in the center of the belly of the muscle, you don't need to front squat. But Diana has great mobility. Diana is able to achieve this position, so we are going to show you how we like to front squat. So before we start with actually squatting with the barbell, we'll show you a few of the different variations of the grip. My favorite position is the clean grip. Even though it's my favorite, sadly, I can't actually achieve this position because I lack the mobility currently, but Diana doesn't, and this is the grip that I'm going to recommend for her. It's the same position that she's going to grab the bar if she's a weightlifter to perform a clean. That's why it's called a clean grip. Grabbing the barbell, resting it right up to next to her neck, behind the shelf created by the anterior deltoids. Lifting her elbows, keeping the elbows high. This is in aid of maintaining thoracic extension. Another way of saying that is keeping the chest up. Don't lift the elbows high. That's a very popular cue for a good reason. It allows you to maintain thoracic extension. It allows you to keep your chest up. But I still see people lifting the elbows up in absence of upper back extension. So make sure that that's what's happening. Elbows high, chest up, or extend the thoracic spine. Unracking that weight. Stepping out in her comfortable stance, 3 steps. She knows her comfortable stance. Toes pointed slightly outwards. Initiates the movement by externally rotating the femur. This is a much more upright squat position than all of the other squat variations that we've done, which is the high bar squat and the low bar squat. Because of the position that we're balancing it on the front of the body, it forces us to be a little bit more upright. What that means, the more upright the torso, the more knee bend we are able to achieve. So comparing this to a low bar squat, which is very hip dominant, one more rep, full knee bend here, it's a much more quadriceps dominant or a knee dominant style of squat. And for those of you who lack the mobility to achieve the clean grip, like me, you might have to use a crossover grip or the bodybuilder grip that Diana's going to show you now. Diana starts by getting under the bar, making sure the barbell sits in the exact same position as the clean grip, which is right up against her neck. Very uncomfortable position, but that's where it is. Make sure it sits behind the shelf created by the anterior deltoid. Not on the belly, sits behind the belly of that deltoid. That is the correct position for a front squat. But instead of grabbing it in the clean grip, she's going to place the hands on top of the bar, making sure she's not simply resting her hands on the barbell, but she's holding onto the bar, pushing it back against her neck, making sure it doesn't roll throughout the entire movement. But we do know that Diana has the mobility to achieve the clean, and that's what we're going to do today. We've got 40 kilograms on the bar. The front squat is the least efficient or the weakest position of all 3 of the squat variations. So Diana has decided to put a belt on from a little bit earlier than she would for her back squat variations. Coming under the barbell, grabbing it in her comfortable grip, which as we know is the clean grip. Placing it behind the shelf created by the anterior deltoids. Keeping her elbows high, which is in aid of keeping a nice upright torso angle or keeping her chest up. Unracking that weight. 3 steps out. standing in her comfortable stance, looking straight ahead. Initiate the movement by externally rotating that femur, spreading the floor, pushing the knees out in the same direction as her toes and opening her hips. Same cues, doesn't matter what squat variation we're choosing. One more rep, taking a big breath, looking straight ahead. Her mobility allows, and drives it up to the start position again. Nice and easy. Let's go up. 50 kilograms on the bar for Dini for the front squat. Same cues, grabbing the bar with her clean grip, placing it behind the shelf created by her anterior deltoids. Nice and close to her neck, nice and uncomfortable. Big breath for the unrack. Keeping her elbows high, keeping her torso nice and upright. Her comfortable stance, 2 reps, externally rotates the femur, spreads the floor, knees out, opens the hips, controls the weight down, drives it up. Nice and easy. 50 kilograms, looked very comfortable. Because it was very comfortable, we're gonna go to 60 kilograms. Right now we've got 60 kilograms on the bar. The front squat is the weakest of the 3 barbell squat variations. So this is gonna be our last set. We're gonna go for a double. Once again, I know how strong Diana is, so this isn't taking her to fail, but it's still gonna be somewhat challenging for her. And the reason why we are going to this weight is so that you can see if there's any changes in the behavior or the speed in which she lifts. My goal isn't to take her to technical breakdown, and my advice is never really to take anyone to technical breakdown, but sometimes when we're assessing a lifter, it's good to start recognizing early if technical breakdown is going to start to occur. The biggest telltale is speed of the lift, so you have to be very observant to be able to notice when the barbell starts slowing down and take that as a sign that it is getting harder for the lifter. So now we're going to do 60 kilograms and we're going to do it for 2 reps. Have a look at all of the cues which Diana's been doing from start to finish. Coming under the bar, grabbing it in the clean grip. This is her preferred grip. And it's my preferred grip, even though I don't have the mobility to achieve it. Placing it behind the shelf created by her anterior deltoids. Sitting nice and uncomfortable, right up against her neck. Stepping out 3 steps, standing in her comfortable stance, maintaining a nice upright torso angle throughout the entire movement. Controls that weight down, drives that weight back up with intent. Nice and easy. To be honest with you, I don't even think that slowed down. That was very comfortable. If we were to have a squat session, I'd say, let's do that for 5s. But that was a great demonstration of how a front squat should look. Great squatting, Dini.